Meat is murder. Have you heard? That's what these ladies say. These liberal extremist women. Hypocrisy when they're abortionists. Can you find an exception? Who of these women would not be an abortionist? They look like abortionists. They act like abortionists. Where they care more about animals than children. They should be holding up cards saying abortion is murder. But they don't care about abortion. They don't care when humans die. They care only when maggots die. Be kind to every kind. I'm sure they are. I'm sure when you go into their home it's infested. Oh wait, it's not. They're not kind to them. They reject them. They oppress them. They kill some when you're not looking. Mosquito versus vegan. Someone under this woman's video said, I deal with mosquitoes by putting them in jars. When I wake up, I release them. So I would challenge them with this argument. If the power goes out and you have no candle, so you cannot see them, do you A, let them bite you, or B, try to kill them? A is stupid, B is hypocrisy. Checkmate, vegans. Walking to buy vegan shit. So, when you get plants from the earth, what you're doing is you're uprooting the homes of innocent animals. And you don't even notice. That poor ant fell because you ripped off its home and it was just crawling and checking out the backyard, but then this titan had to come in and ruin his life forever. You jerk. How would you like it if it happened to you? Everyone deserves empathy! PETA kids. Except microbes, of course. They don't deserve any empathy. You don't even mention their existence, vegans. Out of sight, out of mind, right? The difference between microbes and actual creatures, what he's saying is that microbes are not creatures. He's saying microbes are not animals. How dishonest. Vegans, they care only about cute animals. Now, to some people, these are cute. I don't find rats cute. I don't find frogs cute. I don't find most spiders cute. But to them, only cute creatures like these and furry woodland creatures have rights. If you're ugly, you don't have rights. That's the vegan way. So then he's like, the difference is that microbes inevitably get killed every second. Well, this is a total non sequitur fallacy. Just because people kill others every second doesn't justify it. That's insanity. What kind of argument is that? And it's not inevitable. I'll get to that later, God willing. Whereas animals, well, they are animals, you liar. The hosts don't need to. It's not inevitable. I'm not suggesting you do so, but you can kill yourself, vegan, to stop the Holocaust in your acidic gut that burns innocent microbes alive. Ah! I was just exploring your esophagus. Don't burn me alive, bro. But you vegans value your one human life more than millions and billions of innocent microscopic animal lives. I originally laughed out loud, right now I'm tired. So you see, vegans don't really care about animals unless they're cute. Hypocrisy. But they would argue microbes don't have feelings. How would you know? They would say, no nerves, no feelings. But I respond with projection. Just because you need nerves to have feelings doesn't mean all other possible creatures do. Just because it's the norm doesn't mean there's no exception. That is projection. That is a fallacy. You are illogical. And failure to think outside the box. What if they can have feelings without nerves? Why are you so closed-minded? Silence, carnist. Today I was researching a little bit, looking for meme pictures, in other words, for this slideshow presentation, and I found someone saying carnist, referring to flesh eaters. That's pretty funny. Carnist. And then, well, that's too bad for you guys, you vegans, because I'm about to prove that in the following two videos that microbes don't want to die. So this is proof. Hold up. Let's go over to YouTube. First, let's see bacteria attacking white blood cells. This will show you that bacteria identify white blood cells as their enemies, which is why they attack.
Hi, this is Dr. O'Reilly with another plaque sample showing an unusual situation here with white blood cells in this sample. What I wanted to show you is this white blood cell in particular, where you have 2 nucleus inside the white blood cell instead of the usual 3 nucleus. And that tells me that this white blood cell is starting to deteriorate and die. The reason why is that this cell is lined, as I'm pointing out with the arrow here, is lined with bacteria.
So, having established that bacteria identify these as their enemy, that explains why bacteria run away from their enemy when the enemy, the white blood cell, chases the bacteria, proving that the bacteria does not want to die. I'm not making this up. Science proves you wrong, vegans. Stop denying science, vegans. Look, it keeps going away and away and away. It doesn't want to die, it has feelings. Probably has a spirit. Bam! Oh, that's just too bad, microbe. But you know what? It doesn't matter that you died. You should die, because a human body has more worth than billions of microbes. And as Jesus said, I think it was Jesus, he said, "You are worth more than many sparrows." Little birds have worth, but you are worth more than many little birds. Even the worst of you vegans has more worth than any pet I've ever had. So, I proved microbes don't want to die, and there's nothing you can do about it, vegans. So here is a man. Alright, first of all, I have to say that I admire the conviction of vegans who truly believe that they are doing other creatures a great favor by defending their imaginary rights. Now, they do have rights, but when you define their rights, it's pretty subjective and arbitrary. So, first of all, you say you're a beast. Veganism is one of, in the West anyway, not in India, that's always been around, but veganism, or vegetarianism, veganism in the West, like the United States, is one of the branches of the corrupt atheist tree. Why? Because if you believe you're an animal, then man is reduced to the level of a maggot, which means if you have to respect other humans, you have to respect animals just as much as you respect humans. Then a maggot has as much worth as you. That is very dehumanizing. That is very degrading. And it is obviously wrong, because obviously a human has more worth. Man is unique in the cosmos because man is made in the image of God. See my videos proving that belief in aliens is stupid. And see my video on the prophetic power of the Bible proving the Bible right. So I've already covered that. And then, as for animal rights, where do they come from, atheists? Where do they come from, vegans and heretics, liberal extremists? Where? From your butts? Because nature doesn't say they exist. It doesn't say rights exist. You say that. And if nature doesn't say they exist, then they're not objectively real. They're opinions, and opinions have no objective worth. And what do you call someone who imposes their opinions on others? You call them a bigot. Nature says only that might makes right. But you vegans are bigots. And you pretend that your opinions are to be treated as law. That is just narcissism, imposing your opinions that you can't even prove onto others. Can you prove they have rights? No, you cannot. Without God, you have no objective, solid foundation for that claim. Submit to our opinions! That's basically what you guys are saying. Vegan, I don't eat meat because I respect nature. Nature. Now, animals like gorillas eat their own poop. So I'm not saying we should follow the example of animals. I'm just showing that nature doesn't say it is wrong. Nature, if anything, says it is right. Might makes right. That's nature. The law of the jungle is a cruel law. But that is the law that nature has. And no benevolent, let's care about the furry woodland creatures weaker than us law. No, there is no law in nature saying that. The Bible, by the way, says animals have rights. For the violence of Lebanon shall cover thee, and the spoil of beasts, which made them afraid, because of men's blood, and for the violence of land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. So, the spoil of beasts means things like hunting them to extinction, that kind of thing. Killing them just for fun like the Romans did. That is evil, and that is cruel, and God does not approve, as this makes clear. Yes, God says to sacrifice animals. Why? Because one, the owner of the animal, the owner of the lamb, they had to raise the lamb and protect it. So it is a sacrifice of the human, not just the lamb. So by sacrificing their property, their lamb, oh, that's right, you liberals say that you can't have property. Once again, you're imposing your bigoted, self-righteous opinions. Nature doesn't agree with you. Nature doesn't agree with you. Only God can make rights objectively. I'm trying to finish my presence on YouTube, so I rush, and that means I make a few mistakes in my presentation. But whatever. So only God creates reality objectively. You can have your imaginary reality, your fantasy, but the objective truth, the absolute truth, only God creates that. And to an extent, He does let us create some reality. For example, you can choose to punch someone, and then that becomes reality. And it's to eat flesh, of course. So God created me to eat animals. Not all animals, of course, but it's all right to eat beef. God said so. And you know what? God is a creator of reality. God creates animals. And when God says it's all right, it's all right. And when vegans say it's not all right, that's your bigotry talking. Originally, Adam and Eve were vegetarians, but the reason that God made eating flesh of animals a thing was to give symbolism that in order for there to be life, there must be death. After Adam and Eve sinned, they became aware of their nakedness, and so they hid from God's presence as He walked in the garden. And they made aprons to cover their nakedness. But that was not good enough. Their good works were not good enough. So what God did was God did the good work of sacrificing an innocent creature with fur, which symbolizes God Himself, Jesus, His incarnation, who would die for us to pay for our crimes, like vegan hypocrisy. He sacrificed the innocent animal, and He clothed their nakedness with the animal. So the animal lost His life for them to have no more shame. Jesus sacrificed Himself so that we would not have the shame of sin. That is the symbolism there. So when I eat chicken, sometimes I think, in order for me to have life from the energy of this chicken, the chicken had to die. And if it's just a plant, the plant had to die. You know, plants are alive. Not to the same level as animals, let alone humans, but they are alive. So you are killers, vegans, even if it were only plants. But it's not only plants, you also kill microbes. You guys are mass murderers according to your own standard, but you have a double standard. I avoid eating pig, by the way, because of things like this. So that's that. Veganism is hypocrisy, and there's nothing you guys can do about it, because I already proved that microbes have feelings too.